The Last Supper painting has been a subject of study for years now, and yet no expert has been able to fully unravel the mystery behind it, although different theories have broken the internet over the last few years. From the debate that a figure believed to be the Apostle John might be Mary Magdalene and Jesus' wife, to the prediction of the end of the world by a universal flood found in Leonardo's painting. Is it possible that we might be looking at quite possibly an unraveled enigma? Or are we just looking for something that just isn't there? Should the Last Supper painting just be left as what it is, a painting, and enjoyed just like every other piece of artwork? Or could it be that Leonardo da Vinci truly hid codes in his artwork? Well, let's find out what the experts have to say. Leonardo da Vinci's artwork is renowned for having a sense of mystique about it. Paintings like the Mona Lisa, whose identity as a woman is still unknown and whose meaning has not yet been completely uncovered. Questionably, his best work, The Last Supper, depicts the last meal Jesus had with his disciples. However, it is also a mystery, and it is believed to have a hidden meaning. The painting is much more than a typical work of art that should only be displayed and appreciated, because it can tell a tale, provide a glimpse into the past, and perhaps conceal secrets that have not yet been revealed. Leonardo da Vinci's illustration of an event was depicted in all four Gospels, in which Jesus Christ ate with his disciples while fully aware that one of them would betray him at any moment, and the suffering that would ensue was displayed in this work of art. In the painting, all 12 disciples have shown varying degrees of shock in response to the painful revelation that Jesus Christ had just made that there was a traitor among them. For instance, Thomas appeared to be demanding an explanation. James had furiously raised his arms in the air. Philip was shown hunched down in disbelief at the shocking revelation, and Thaddeus was facing him from behind as they sought clarification from Simon. Bartholomew, James, and Andrew are depicted on Jesus' right at the far end of the table appear to be seemingly in disbelief. Peter, who was in front, held a knife and appeared ready to physically retaliate. Finally, the betrayer Judas held a purse while silently toppling a salt cellar. In the painting, as Da Vinci depicted, Judas was the only figure sipping a cup of milk. Even though Jesus had specifically blessed and broken a piece of bread, his flesh, and poured a cup of wine, his blood, for all his disciples to share in remembrance of him. Experts say that this might have been Leonardo da Vinci's depiction of Judas Iscariot's fall from grace, and suggest that if Judas had drunk the wine like every other disciple, he would have been forgiven, but Leonardo reflects Judas's station as an outsider and unforgiven. However, even though all the painted figures have been identified, there is still one figure experts have not been able to identify, and this is because it is unknown who Da Vinci was trying to portray due to the unusual nature of the figure. Who is this figure? Why was she dressed in a feminine way? This was quite unusual at the time, so the question of this mysterious figure is still unknown. If you have noticed, Apostle John is the only figure in the painting that has been left out. It has been continuously debated by biblical scholars if it was a feminine figure that Leonardo painted seated next to Jesus. Da Vinci in his earlier artworks seemed to portray John in a feminine mannerism, so one might not be so wrong to assume it was John. People think that this is not John depicted in the portrait, and it is actually Mary Magdalene, and depending on what version you listen to, Mary Magdalene's character has been reduced significantly to a mere prostitute or wayward woman who was saved after turning to Christ. Although biblical scholars believe that the person in the right hand of Jesus is a woman, as the figure is the only one painted wearing a necklace or pendant, and not a dainty one either. All these prove that the person is most likely a woman. Many believe that the medieval people made a conscious effort to call the figure John after seeing that it was a woman, since the figure was seated on the right-hand side of Jesus, which is also the most preferred and honored place. However, in early Christian writings, Mary Magdalene was said to have been Jesus' trusted companion, wife, and lover. Also, there seems to be a striking resemblance to Mona Lisa, which was painted 5 years later. Additionally, Leonardo painted Jesus and his followers without a halo in his depiction of the Last Supper. Jesus and his followers are depicted as saints with halos painted above their heads in all earlier paintings of the event. In Da Vinci's rendition, he purposely disregarded this tradition and chose to portray them without halos, implying that even Jesus was a mere mortal. All of the others share a trait that distinguishes them from their replacement, a halo. According to a specialist who has spent more than 15 years studying Da Vinci's works, Leonardo may have removed the halo from their heads to depict them as common people. Examining the painting closely, experts have pointed out that a V formation can be seen between Jesus and Mary. The letter V is often used to represent the womb. Does this mean that they had a child together? Now, if you look deeper, when experts include Jesus and Mary, it no longer forms a V, but rather an M shape, which is meant to be matrimonial. Could Da Vinci have been hinting at something here? Now, in his artwork, his love for symmetry is evident, so was this just his creative flair for coming out to play, or was he subtly hinting at something else? This theory is further confirmed by computer analyst Slavesa Pesci, who discovered another painting within Leonardo's Last Supper. According to him, when two of the paintings are overlaid on each other, four new hidden figures appear. One of the figures appears to be cradling a child, and it is believed to be Mary Magdalene. Two figures at the end of the table look like Templar knights. Legends say that Templars were guardians of the Holy Grail. If you observe closely, there is also a chalice standing in front of Christ. This theory broke through the internet and sparked many debates online. Surprisingly though, it doesn't stop skeptics from pointing out more theories. Another hidden message gets analyzed yet again. This painting is hiding a numeric pattern called 33133. Experts believe Da Vinci grouped the disciples in his painting in this manner for a purpose. Now let's break it down. In the painting, there are two groups of three disciples seated on both the left and right-hand sides of Jesus. Now, if you include Jesus, you will end up with the 33133 code. You might be wondering how this strange code relates to the painting. To understand this pattern, we need to study Da Vinci's history as a young man in Florence. He was arrested and accused of being homosexual. Now, you might be confused as to how this relates to the pattern 33133, but many experts believe that the 33133 was a code referring to Lamentations 331 to 33. For no one is cast off from the Lord forever. Many think that Da Vinci used this as a way to communicate his homosexuality and demonstrate that God still loved him, although his lifestyle was strongly condemned and illegal at the time. Although this might seem like a bit of a stretch, Vatican scholar Sabrina Sforza-Galizia claims that she has predicted the day the world will end from the Last Supper painting. In 2010, the scholar announced she had solved a mathematical and astrological puzzle. According to her, the window above Jesus Christ was a hidden code incorporated into the painting. Sabrina claims the code involves the zodiac and the 24 letters of the Latin alphabet to represent the 24 hours of the day. Da Vinci had predicted the end of humanity before it unfolded. According to her, the world ends with a flood that will start around March 21st, 4006 and end on November 1st, 4006, marking the beginning of a new world. As was already stated, this seems unlikely, and the one reason for that might be that 4,006 years away from now is 1,983 years away. It is interesting to note, however, that this is the first time a world-ending prediction isn't happening soon. Da Vinci expert Alessandro Vizzosi maintains that there is always a possibility of seeing something that isn't there, but he doesn't rule out the fact that at least one of these theories might be correct. Leonardo da Vinci experts say that not one, but all of these theories could be hidden within the Last Supper, foreshadowing the future. Although one has to wonder, are we looking at something that just isn't there? Could it be a simpler explanation for his artwork? With all these many theories flying around, which is correct, or at least even closer to the truth? Did Leonardo really hide these codes in his artwork, or was it just his creative persona? Are scholars getting closer to deciphering the painting, or are we just running around a maze? Who was seated at the right-hand side of Jesus, Mary Magdalene or the Apostle John? Did Da Vinci mean to add these mysteries to his paintings, or are people just seeing what they want to see? What are your thoughts? Tell us. We would love to hear them. Share what you think in the comment section below.